Previously, if we see last 5-7 years, UPSC has regularly asked around 15 questions every year from number system. Cutoff is decided from GS, but CSAT decides कि you are going to get listed for that cutoff preparation of GS or not. So you need to qualify CSAT, then only you can come in the listing of that cutoff making category. See, the first thing which is very important, do not ignore CSAT. It is qualifying but crucial. The second thing, we cannot give over importance to one section. Balance is very important in this. The third thing is, we need to assess our strength and weaknesses. Then after this, we need to work upon that. Then the fourth part is practice. Practice is very important in CSAT with pen and paper.
Hello and welcome everyone. As part of our conversational series, today we have lined up a video on CSAT Strategy 2025 for the mathematics part. Joining us today is our esteemed faculty member, Brijesh sir, who will guide us through the approach and also answer some of the frequently asked questions by the students. Welcome Brijesh sir.
Thank you, Nitesh.
Sir, before jumping on to the overall approach of the mathematics part, could you outline the CSAT paper for us?
Yes, Nitesh. CSAT mein there are 80 questions. Out of 80 questions, there are 3 sections. First is maths part, second is reasoning, third is RC part. And we don't know what is the exact proportion mein UPSC is going to ask questions. So every year UPSC tweaks with the proportion of questions. Like some year UPSC asks 30 to 40 questions in maths part. Some year UPSC can ask 30 to 40 questions in RC itself. So overall we can see around 50 questions UPSC asks from maths and reasoning part, and remaining 30 questions from RC part. And the qualifying criteria which is set by UPSC, that is 33%. So a student has to score 66 minimum marks to qualify the CSAT paper. So this is overall about CSAT paper.
Sir, since we are discussing the mathematics part here, could you briefly tell us about the priority subjects that are generally asked in the paper for the mathematics part?
See, if we talk about mathematics part, so most important topic is number system. Previously, if we see last 5-7 years, UPSC has regularly asked around 15 questions every year from number system. Last year we can see more than 20 questions from the number system itself. And in number system also there are many subtopics from where UPSC is asking questions, like classification of numbers, then we have LCM HCF, we have unit digit, and so on. Apart from number system, the topic which is very important, that is permutation and combination. Recently, in last 2-3 years, UPSC has started asking questions from permutation and combination. Before that, very few questions, 1 or 2 questions UPSC was asking. And after this permutation and combination, we have percentage, profit loss discount, we have averages, we have ratios, mixtures. This way, few more topics are there which UPSC is asking frequently. But I would say that number system is the most important topic which UPSC is asking.
Sir, now that we have a brief idea of the paper and the syllabus that is there of the mathematics part, let's jump on to the actual approach part. The most important questions that the students ask is that when should they start their preparation? What is the most appropriate time?
See, the simple answer for this question is whenever you start preparing for UPSC. A student must see how UPSC is asking questions previous years mein. What is the syllabus of UPSC? So the time you start your preparation, the time you start your CSAT preparation also. So we need to check what is there in the syllabus, how the questions are being framed. Then we can assess our strength and weakness. If we are more weak in some parts, that means we need to start very early.
Sir, a connected question to this, that how much practice is needed and is it same for everyone?
See, practice is important for everyone, not a single student from any stream for whom we can suggest कि this stream student does not need practice for CSAT. Every student needs practice. So that depends upon their strength and weaknesses. What we can say कि some science background student, some engineering background student, they have more grasp on quant part. But RC is also there, reasoning is also there. But if we talk about specifically maths part, there also, if maths, engineering background student or science background student, they also have to practice a lot, because the reason for that is the way UPSC is framing questions. Every year new questions, and the questions are based on conventional approach, and many questions are asked from number system. So we have left our this maths wala part in schools, 10th standard, and UPSC is asking questions on the topics which are there in the 10th standard, and number system is also part of it. So we see these questions for the first time in the paper itself. So we need to practice a lot, be it humanities student, be it science background or engineering student. It may happen that science and engineering graduates, they need to practice less as compared to humanities student. They can have a good grasp in little time, but it is not very sure that they will get that grasp. So our suggestion is practice, practice, practice for every student.
Sir, given the amount of concepts that the students have to learn and the amount of practice that it is needed that you suggested, how should one optimally utilize the resources that the student has? A typical student has to go through the classes, the practice material that is available, and as suggested by everyone, PYQs. So how should we optimally utilize these resources?
Yes, as you have listed out, what are the resources for preparation of the CSAT? Like we have syllabus, but in syllabus nothing much is written. Then we have previous year questions. So we can go through previous year questions. But the concepts on which the questions were asked, that concept building is very important. That can come from classes. After classes, we have tests. Then we have PYQs. So 3 resources we can say कि we have for preparation of CSAT. So these 3 are very important. Like you are attending some classes, you are practicing some mock test, and you are practicing previous year questions. These 3 resources are available with the student.
Sir, as these are a lot of resources and they are a little time intensive as well, so how would you suggest the student manage his CSAT preparation, his or her CSAT preparation with the GS preparation?
See, cutoff is decided from GS, but CSAT decides कि you are going to get listed for that cutoff preparation of GS or not. So you need to qualify CSAT, then only you can come in the listing of that cutoff making category. So one has to qualify CSAT and one has to read GS as well. So switching between subjects, like you are reading GS, any subject, polity, history, economy, in a week you are devoting some time for GS. So try to devote some time for CSAT also. So switching is important, and I would suggest that not every day CSAT reading is important. If one student is going to attempt for 2025, what one student can do on a weekly basis, or they can decide this way that this is the syllabus, I have assessed my strength and weakness, so this much time is required, or these many concepts are required to go through. So they can decide that I need at least these many hours to study and complete that part. So on a weekly basis or every day they can read. 2 months may they have completed the concept part and gone through the previous year papers also. Or they can do कि weekly basis पे they are reading the concepts, they are attempting the questions, and this is going like 5-6 months में they are completing the entire syllabus and the 5-6 or 10 years के previous year question, and after then again they can revise the same thing in coming 5-6 months. So this way, depending upon their weaknesses and strength, they can assess themselves, and based on that they can strategize how they can go for.
What I've understood, sir, in the broader sense, that your preparation strategy should be personalized, should be consistent, and you should engage or plan with diversity in your weekly routine or your monthly routine, whatever suits the individual. So moving on, as we have decent enough clarity on the approach for the mathematics part, I will jump on to the frequently asked questions by the students. One of the most pressing question that the students have is, as you mentioned, that many of them have not practiced mathematics for a long time. So they are in a dilemma that should they invest time in mathematics or should they skip it altogether?
See, this question is many of the student, they ask this question. Sir, I am from humanities background student and I haven't practiced maths since last 10 years. Should I skip this? Because RC say questions come like 30-35 questions come from RC. 20 questions come from reasoning. So, sir, roughly around 50 questions I can attempt from these two parts. But I would suggest, see, in the syllabus it is given कि maths part is there, RC part is there, and reasoning part is there. But nowhere it is mentioned कि maths से 1/3 questions will be asked, reasoning से 1/3 question will be asked, and RC से 1/3 question is asked. Like last year we have seen, if I take the example of GS, how many questions were asked from modern Indian history? 2-3 questions. So we cannot say ki how UPSC is going to ask questions from different parts. The proportion we cannot expect. Like next year it may happen, it can happen ki UPSC is asking 50 questions from the maths, 10 questions from RC, 20 from reasoning. Then what we are going to do? So we need to have a balanced approach. We cannot skip any part. If we cannot skip any part, that means कि maths part we need to cover. Yes, we can decide कि like 10 topics are there. We can leave 2 topics out of them. We can leave 3 topics, which are the most difficult topic, that one can decide after assessing the previous year question. But entire maths topic, one cannot leave. So a balanced approach must be there.
Okay. So, sir, one can leave the topics, can prioritize based on their strength and weaknesses, but they cannot skip the subject altogether. Okay. Sir, on the flip side, there are another group of students, as you already mentioned, that they are from the technical background. They have more familiarity with quantitative topics. And there is a perception among them that practicing CSAT early or starting CSAT early would be a waste of time for them. What would you suggest them?
See how they can understand this. After assessing, then only they can understand कि the way they are asking question, I am able to attempt them. But how to assess that? You need to go through previous year questions. So you started preparing for UPSC, so you need to go through CSAT paper. 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Try to attempt them. Then you will get some idea. So we after going through previous year question, we can understand कि where do we stand? What are my strengths? Still we can find out कि there are some weaknesses, some areas where we need to work upon. So these things are important, and one cannot say I can just leave maths part and I will attempt those parts, those concepts in last 1 or 2 months before the exam. One has to go through previous year question, then only they can assess. So that is very important, be it for technical, be it for non-technical.
Okay, sir. So, whomsoever the student is, practice and starting the preparation early and assessing yourselves is non-negotiable.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Sir, another issue that students face is that when they start early and they start practicing, they tend to forget it in 1-2 months, the topics that they have covered. So, what can be a strategy for making notes and revising the topics of CSAT, since it is a little different, the preparation from GS?
See, that is very important for CSAT. One can do classes. These students can have class notes. If they're not going for classes, so what they can do, list out different topics. After listing out these topics, try to write the basic concepts, and one student can see that there are different types in all the concepts, how the questions are being framed. So one can list out these questions. So one topic, one subtopic, different concepts, then different type of questions. And one student can list down from the previous year questions itself. So that will be a note for that student. So like 10-15 topics are there. Every topic में there will be 4, 5, 6, 8 subtopics. For each subtopic, 5, 8 types will be there, or 2 types will be there, 3 types will be there. For every type, 2, 3 questions one can list down and the solution. So this will take around 2-3 months to complete that notes. If a student is going to classes, they can get from the classes itself, or they can make this way the notes for CSAT maths, and one can revise 2-3 times before the examination. That student will be confident enough to qualify that barrier of 33%.
Okay. Sir, a corollary of this question, many of the students ask that creating a formula sheet, is that useful for the exam, or is it more applicable to other exams?
See, what I would suggest in UPSC CSAT, the questions which are asked that are not formula based. Conventional approach we need to follow. Like time, speed, distance topic is there. There is just one formula. Speed is equal to distance by time. So many types are there in time, speed and distance. Like boats and stream is there. Race wala concept is there. Basic concept is there. Relative speed is there. Everywhere we can see just a single formula is applied. So formula sheet I would suggest is important for SSC exam, but for UPSC exam some basic formulas are required. For each topic, try to identify what are the basic formulas. Be it time and work, be it time, speed and distance, be it number system, be it permutation combination. Basic formulas only are important. What we can list down, not the formula sheet, but the concepts. What kind of concept UPSC is asking in questions. That concept listing is important.
Okay, so you should have a very clear idea of the concepts, but you don't need to be thorough with the formulas, because the application may not be there, direct application may not be there in the examination. Okay. Sir, coming on to the performance part of the examination, students find it very difficult to do questions real time. They complain that they can solve the same question at home without the time constraint, but they find it very difficult to do it in the examination. So how should one manage the time in the paper? How many questions one should attempt ideally? And is there any particular section one should start with?
See, the first question is how they can manage time. What happens in the examination hall? There is a lot of pressure. There is anxiety also. We get panic attacks also if the question paper is too difficult. So be it GS, be it CSAT, the same strategy one can follow. In whichever part you feel you are strong, start with that part. Like CSAT mein you are strong with RC part, start with RC. That will boost your confidence. If you are strong with maths part, start with the maths part. And in maths also, you might be having a good command over some topics. So you can start with those topics questions itself. That will boost your confidence. What happens? This 2 hours paper, the game is of confidence. If in starting you have attempted like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 these questions. Out of these questions, these are from maths part and you are weak in maths and you don't know कि I have done it correct or not. You will lose your confidence and the entire paper will be gone. So the confidence is key. In GS also, if you feel that polity mein you are strong, start with the polity questions. If you feel ki you are strong in economy, start with the economy. So starting 10 to 20 minutes is for confidence building. So start with the part in which you are very sure and very strong in that part. And number of questions. So one cannot go with the preconceived idea that I am going to attempt 55 questions, 60 questions. That will depend upon the difficulty level. So if the paper is very difficult, maths part say questions are coming like 40, 45. Out of 40, 45, 20 questions you cannot attempt. So if you are devoting more and more time in maths, so like 1 hour 25 minutes is skilled. So you are left with only 25, 35 minutes. So in that time, you can attempt RC or reasoning. You will be in panic mode. You cannot attempt more. So first identify the difficulty level. After then, what you can do, start with the topics in which topic you feel I am strong. And after then, try to see key minimum how many questions I can attempt with greater accuracy. Like maths is difficult, RC में accuracy can be low. So depending upon that, you can decide कि like 45 to 55 question must be the range. It cannot be like you are attempting 30 questions. So in the first 5 minutes, you need to decide on these things. And on an average, we can say कि 50 questions one must attempt. 45 to 55 is the range. Depending upon कि maths में if you are attempting more, accuracy will be high. So that way.
Sir, this has been a very enriching discussion. For final comments, I request you to list out some non-negotiable do's and don'ts that the students can take away from this session.
See, the first thing which is very important, do not ignore CSAT. It is qualifying but crucial. The second thing, we cannot give over importance to one section. Balance is very important in this. The third thing is, we need to assess our strength and weaknesses. Then after this, we need to work upon that. Then the fourth part is practice. Practice is very important in CSAT with pen and paper. So these four things are very important for a student who are going to prepare for 2025.
Thank you, sir, for your insights and guidance.
Welcome, Nitish.
Students, I hope that these strategies will help you in your CSAT preparation for 2025. Stay focused, stay dedicated. Best of luck from Vision IAS.